Hey, what's up, y'all? It's popping in. Today, about to react to this vid. This is top 10 things Griselda got factually right and wrong. So I started watching this show on Netflix. It's based on, the godmother. She's this huge drug lord, and so many movies have been made that talks about her. I've watched a couple documentaries that mention her. I think Cocaine Cowboys is one of them. So I've always been like very fascinated with her. So definitely want to check this out. And Sofia Vergara, is that how you say her name? She's playing Griselda. So I started the first episode, but then I was like, wait, I'm gonna wait to watch this when I get on the plane because I'm going out of town next month, and I'll be on these flights for 50 hours. So I need stuff to watch. So I can't just binge all these things now, and then by the time I get on the plane, then I'm just bored. So I'm gonna just wait. But I do want to know what is accurate and what isn't before I check it out. But yeah, let's watch.
De ella, Griselda, a la que tanto te quejas.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're looking at plot details from this Netflix miniseries that both accurately conveyed and embellished the life of Griselda Blanco. For those who haven't seen the series, there will be spoilers.
You've thought about me a lot, haven't you?
I don't care about spoilers because I've already watched some documentaries about her, so it's not much of. There's not much to spoil, and even if there is a spoiler, it's gonna be a false one anyway, something that didn't even actually happen to her. So I don't care about that.
Number 10, custody battle for Michael Corleone. Right. Michael Corleone is the fourth and only surviving child of Griselda Blanco, who named him after the Godfather character. Blanco had Michael with Dario Sepulveda, whom she married in 1978. As the marriage fell apart, Sepulveda felt that Michael would be better off with him.
¿Dónde está Michael?
Está bien. Está conmigo.
¿A dónde te lo llevaste?
No sabes que no te voy a decir eso.
Since the couple wasn't going to settle their differences in court, Sepulveda kidnapped his 5-year-old son, taking him to Colombia. Sepulveda could only keep Michael from his mother for so long.
Look straight ahead. Close your eyes. Cover your ears. And don't look back.
In 1983, Sepulveda was gunned down in front of Michael, who returned to Blanco 2 years before her incarceration. Michael also became involved in drug trafficking, but has since left the business behind. He's currently suing the creatives behind Griselda, alleging they used, quote, private artistic literary work without compensation.
I can't focus on anything. I'm constantly aggressive. I'm sad.
Number 9, Blanco surrendered to the authorities. Wrong.
Yeah, no.
No, voy a seguir tratando de llamar a Darío a ver si contesta.
In the final episode, Blanco turns herself in to the police, believing that this will keep her family safe and she'll get a reduced sentence. The real Blanco didn't go so willingly. Where the show depicts her calling the cops and giving up her location, it was DEA agent Bob Palumbo who tracked Blanco down in 1985. After a decade-long search, Palumbo reportedly kissed Blanco. Caught off guard, Blanco didn't put up much of a fight, but she gave the arresting officers a false name.
Said, "Hola, Griselda." She looked at me with a very bewildered look. "No, me llamo Betty." I said, "Nah, I don't think so."
Griselda also implies that Blanco's lawyer negotiated her sentence down to 7 years. Blanco actually received 15 years for drug trafficking and 3 20-year sentences for second-degree murder, although she was released early and deported due to her declining health.
We all believed at the time that she had made so many enemies in her professional life
Yes, she did.
that as soon as she reached the tarmac on the airport in Colombia, that her lifespan was almost nil.
Number 8, the Dadeland Massacre. Right. It's been estimated that Blanco's body count ranged from as few as 40 to more than 200. Episode 4 opens with one of the most publicized murders linked to Blanco.
You're saying that one person is behind all of this?
Yes. I'm saying one woman is behind all this.
Around 2:30 p.m. on July 11th, 1979, drug trafficker Germán Jiménez Paneso and bodyguard Juan Carlos Hernandez were taken out in a blaze of gunfire at the Dadeland Mall's Crown Liquor Store. 2 shop employees were also wounded in the shootout.
Witnesses were just beside themselves. They couldn't believe the fact that they were minding their own business, shopping at a suburban shopping mall, and ended up being shot at with machine guns.
While there were no other fatalities, the assassins would shoot up several cars in the parking lot, drawing comparisons to the Wild West. The shooters subsequently fled in a van reading Happy Time Complete Party Supply. Blanco wasn't prosecuted for the Dadeland massacre, although there's little doubt that she orchestrated the hit.
You love to make that statement. And the bloody trail continued from that point on.
Number 7.
What documentary is
3
that?
of Blanco's sons died during her incarceration. Wrong. Just as Blanco is about to reclaim her freedom, she's informed that her 3 eldest sons have all been killed.
Who did this? We're not sure. We imagine that they were waiting until your time here was almost done so that this could be as painful as possible.
While this twist gives the show a Shakespearean sentiment, it's not entirely accurate. Hubert and Osvaldo were both killed while Blanco was still in prison, but it would be a few more years until she got out. As such, their deaths were not planned to coincide with her release. Dixon would join his brothers eventually, although it's suspected that his death occurred sometime between his mother's assassination on September 3rd, 2012 and 2020.
Está bien.
Solo te pedí que le dieras una lección.
The show also gives detailed explanations about how each son died. All we know for sure, though, is that Osvaldo met his end outside a nightclub. Dixon and Hubert's deaths remain clouded in mystery.
Te dejo que mientas porque creo que te ayuda. No estoy seguro
Oh,
que lo
drug
hace.
related, I'm sure.
Number 6. Pablo Escobar knew of Blanco. Right. The first episode
Yeah, I'm about to
hooks
say
viewers
that
in
as soon as the first episode starts, it has this quote.
with a quote from Pablo Escobar. Quote, "The only man I was ever afraid of was a woman named Griselda Blanco." Whether or not Escobar said these precise words, he was very much aware of Blanco's operation.
By about 1975, she and Pablo were fighting,
They're
literally
both
trying to
from
kill
Colombia,
one another.
right?
Each had his or her team of assassins after the other.
Some might debate exactly
Yeah,
how much
Medellin,
Escobar feared Blanco,
specifically.
as he
I'm pretty
didn't
sure.
resist clashing with her over territory. Blanco wasn't one to back away from competition.
The hell you want? Get me a meeting with that guy.
Escobar
funny.
himself doesn't pop up in the series, much to the disappointment of those hoping for a Narcos crossover. As the opening text indicates, though, Escobar recognized the power that Blanco commanded, making her a potential threat.
Escobar kills police and bribes officials to secure Medellin Airport as his own.
It's Medellin.
It strangles
That's what local
main
say,
distribution
Medellin.
route to the United States.
Medellin ultimately wasn't big enough for the two of them, although Blanco and Escobar would both meet their end there. Number 5. Marta Ochoa's death was an accident, unknown. The series makes multiple changes regarding Marta Ochoa. She's depicted as the cousin of Juan David, Jorge Luis, and Fabio Ochoa Vasquez, although she was reportedly their sister. Griselda suggests that Marta died from an accidental drug overdose while getting high with Blanco. After trying to get rid of the body, Blanco is forced to flee the scene.
¿Ahora qué? ¿Qué más hiciste?
Óigame, estoy en problemas.
The exact circumstances surrounding Marta's death are unclear, although it has been speculated that Blanco was involved. Rather than an overdose, the leading theory is that Blanco had Marta killed.
Va a estar bien. Y todo va a volver a la normalidad.
Blanco supposedly owed her $1.8 million, and murdering
She
Marta
wanted to
was
pay.
easier than paying this debt. This theory also claims that Marta was tortured before her death in hopes that she'd reveal the location of Rafa Salazar.
Quiere que mi primo no está contento. Y acabas de decir que quiere matarte. No les pares bolas.
Number 4. Jorge Ayala's phone sex scandal. Right. Jorge Rivi Ayala Rivera was among the most notable hitmen who worked for Blanco. It sounds like something out of a Coen Brothers movie, but Ayala robbed a bank for quarters, which led to his arrest.
We're only allowed to give change to bank customers, sir.
Give me a roll of quarters, please. I need to make a very important call.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I know you fucking
Next,
right.
please.
You'd think that would be the craziest chapter of his criminal record. After cutting a deal with the Florida DA, though, the incarcerated Ayala found himself at the center of a phone sex scandal.
He's their star witness, and they made this woman his handler, so he could call her whenever he wanted. One thing leads to another. These two start having phone sex. She doesn't even realize they're being recorded. And it's about to go public.
With Ayala no longer seen as a credible witness, the case that the authorities had been building against Blanco crumbled. It's hard to say if Ayala planned all this, but the show does take one liberty. Ayala didn't have phone sex with a secretary from the state's attorney's office. It was multiple secretaries.
Gotta hand it to Ruby. Makes our whole case, then blows it up.
Number 3, how June Hawkins and Blanco met. Wrong. Detective June Hawkins is depicted as the one primarily responsible for bringing Blanco to justice. Dramatically, this makes sense, as both women were underestimated in male-dominated fields.
No woman's making deals, let alone shooting anyone. You know that where you come from.
Okay, so maybe she's a witness that can help us find the shooter.
Look, June, this is Jensen's case. Your job is just to gather intelligence and put it in a memo.
While Hawkins played a role in tracking down Blanco, the show overlooks many other key figures. There's no mention of Bob Palumbo, who apprehended Blanco. When Blanco was caught, Palumbo, not Hawkins, sat in the back seat with her. Hawkins also didn't visit Blanco in prison to tell her about the deaths of her sons. Hawkins only met Blanco once.
Miss Blanco, I'm Detective Hawkins. This is Detective Singleton.
Let's get you back to Miami, shall we?
Detective Al Singleton, whom Hawkins would marry, had Blanco in his office one day. Knowing that Hawkins worked on the case, Singleton suggested she drop in. Instead of a heated conversation, Hawkins just observed Blanco, describing her as, quote, diminished.
I haven't thought up on you once.
Number 2, Dario Sepulveda saved Blanco's first son. Wrong. Dario Sepulveda was Blanco's third husband. While we know how their marriage ended, there's little information about how the two met. It'd be a stretch to say that their first encounter in Griselda is anything short of romanticism. Sepulveda is introduced as the henchman of Fernando Bravo, Blanco's former brother-in-law. Seeking vengeance for his brother's murder, Fernando plans to make Blanco suffer before doing her in.
Ustedes se fueron tan a la carrera, pues. No me dio tiempo de despedirme.
When Dixon attempts to save his mom, Fernando orders Sepulveda to take him out. Unable to kill someone so young, Sepulveda turns his gun to Fernando, emerging as Blanco's loyal protector and lover, for a period. Although it makes for one of the show's most intense moments, there's no evidence suggesting it ever happened. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to Notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure Blanco killed her husbands. Right. While we may never know every detail of Griselda Blanco's life, it's not a coincidence that all 3 of her husbands died violent deaths.
To trace Blanco's transformation into the violent, bloodthirsty woman who will earn the name the Black Widow, you have to go back over 25 years.
Blanco met her first husband, Carlos Trujillo, as a young teen, getting involved in the drug business together. After divorcing, the two got into a business argument that resulted in Blanco having Trujillo assassinated. Blanco went on to marry cocaine smuggler Alberto Bravo.
Mira lo que hemos construido, nuestro negocio, nuestra familia. Fernando está celoso de lo que tenemos, por eso te quiere.
It's unlikely that Bravo told Blanco to sleep with his brother as the show depicts. However, the marriage would end with Bravo getting shot in the head and Blanco taking credit. As for Dario Sepulveda, the fact that he kidnapped Michael gave Blanco more than enough reason to take action. They didn't call her Black Widow for nothing.
Dario, tú me traes a Michael ya mismo. Si no te voy a montar una cacería que cuando te tenga te voy a reventar la cara yo misma.
What did you think of Griselda?
Damn, I can't wait to watch this. I want to watch these documentaries as well that they showed, because I think the only one I watched was Cocaine Cowboys, but they showed a couple different ones on this video. They referenced some different ones that I've never seen. So much content has been made about this woman. Like, she's so like popular in the drug community. Like, a lot of drug history like is surrounded by her. So I think it's crazy the impact that she's had, and the fact that she's a woman, it just makes it so fascinating because it is such a heavily male dominated space. But yeah, I can't wait to check it out. If y'all seen it, let me know what y'all think, and yeah, let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.